Hey, I'm Noodle Yeti, and welcome to the 7th part in a series I'm doing where I'm building a city called Westdale. This episode is going to be primarily focused on hitting the next milestone and implementing a few of the unlocks that we get. Now, since the last episode's well, actually, I think it will be a week now by the time I put this one out. The last episode I did was about warehousing and logistics. Now, to me, that's a pretty complicated topic, so I kind of wanted to touch on a few things with this. And I'd like to start by first taking a look at a couple of these warehouses here. Like these two small log yards that are exporting. Both of them have all 12 of their trucks in use, which is causing them to back up. So I did a little bit of thinking about that, and I think we have to reach a transportation level that allows us to export. So it looks like around a population of 8,000 we'll get airports. I don't know if it'll give us a cargo airport, and around 11,000 we'll get a train, but I don't know if that's the level it'll give us a cargo train. And if we look at shipping, we have to reach some absurdly high level, like 34,000 population just to export our goods easier. But we do get airport areas. Unfortunately, airport areas have to be leveled up to get the cargo version of it, so you have to start with the pedestrian area first. And as you can see, it has a cost of $12.80 per cell. I don't think we have it in our budget, especially since we'd have to start with the pedestrian one and then work up into the cargo one. We just don't have the tourism infrastructure yet to handle that. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to keep waiting, but the only way we're going to help out warehousing and improve it is by continuing to level up the city. The next thing I wanted to point out was actually, if we look at farming here, you can see a little bit of it is importing. Now this confused me because if we take a look at our outside connections and we look at the import view, nothing in the city is importing agriculture. Absolutely nothing. It even, on the import thing, it even has a little tiny sliver for importing agriculture products. But not a single building is lit up saying that they're importing anything. So I really don't understand what that is and why it's saying that. I'm just gonna have to assume it's a bug. Alright, so something I did over here was, if we take a look at this bakery, without these warehousing over here taking care of its goods, the actual warehousing that we had built previously is too far away, and it actually doesn't send the goods here in time. It takes too long for the bakery to receive the goods, and it'll complain, and it'll have these brief periods where it's not actually producing anything. So I moved these 3 buildings over here, so that way the bakery can always get its goods when it needs them. I'm gonna go ahead and lay out some roads over here to kind of give a framework to the neighborhoods that I want to build. And I have an idea of 2 separate neighborhoods in this area with kind of like a park in the middle that allows camping, because I want to use the nature reserve in between here. Now the neighborhood on the right, I want to use the mid-century modern district theme, and the neighborhood on the left, I want to use European suburbia. And the idea I have behind that is the ones on the right, since it's going to be a smaller one with the mid-century modern, that the upper management of both the farm industry and the forestry industry, that those people will be living on the right, and the supervisors will be living on the left. Now, in order to, before I can even move anybody in, I'm going to actually need to focus on the city services, such as electricity, water, and all that stuff. But I'm just going to go ahead and cut past all that. And I'm just going to go ahead and put down this neighborhood here. And when I'm done with it, I'll kind of explain a little bit of what I've changed and added in. right, so I've got the neighborhoods laid out here, side by side. And I've also added a bunch of city services as well. So if we come into here, we come look over here. Let's get out of this view. I swapped the inland water treatment plant for the eco version. I actually didn't realize I had placed down the regular one with all the pollution. So I was able to swap it down to three of them that don't have as much pollution. Now, of course, we're still going to see all this pollution in the land and the air because we have the coal power plants, but eventually, one day in the future, hopefully we can get rid of those. Another thing I did was add another recycling center, and I moved the recycling center, the one that was on this road with its back to the railroad, up into this city service area, and I added another one. I also added a police station and a fire station and a radio mast over here by these warehouses as well. And I even thought about transit for both bus. You can see the red and green line that go through this area here. If you're wondering why it's not turning white, I actually downloaded another mod called Toggle Whiteness, or Toggle something or other, so that way I wasn't flash banging everybody with these bright white screens every now and again. Yet again, purely a production thing. I really don't want to be the reason somebody somewhere might have a seizure or something. But yeah, we've got a small bus route here. I didn't want it to go through the neighborhood because I just didn't want that bus traffic creating noise in there. But I was okay with it using this road since it's kind of a cut through, and I don't plan on having any homes directly on this particular road. I also extended the tram line down as well, as you can see here. Oops. And I put a stop right out here in front of the neighborhood. Now, the only thing I'm disappointed about is I had to downgrade this roundabout from a 2-lane highway to a 2-lane one-way with tram tracks. So its speed limit got cut down from, I think, like 100 miles an hour to 40. But now we get a little bit more of we can extend the tram track down without having to create any weird pathways off to the side using one-way tram tracks or something. Something else I did was actually upgrade this whole road to the 6-lane with tram tracks. Now, the reason I did that is for 2 reasons. When the tram is leaving our city center area and it's going to turn right to go down and pick up or drop off people over there, if it was the 4-lane, it would have had to cut across everybody else turning right to cut into the middle lane. So yeah, now I guess that I'm looking at it, I just realized that it's cutting from the middle lane to the outside right here anyways. But what I was thinking about was actually down here as well, where it cuts from the middle lane across the other lane of traffic to get to the middle here. Now, if it's cutting from the right to the middle, that kind of makes sense. And I also upgraded this road as well, if you couldn't tell. I went from a 2-unit wide to a 4-unit wide 4-lane road. I just wanted to upgrade this road to give it a little bit more capacity, since this is kind of like the freight corridor to the toll road, and it's got tram. I just kind of wanted to help it out a little bit. Yeah, I've added quite a bit more fire and police coverage. Oh, we are flooding still. Okay. So I just wanted to add a bit more coverage for everything. Accessibility with the public transit. We've got fire coverage, police coverage, radio coverage. We've expanded our water and our electricity to cover the soon-to-be influx of people. I believe the only things I haven't covered yet would be educations, such as like an elementary school or high school or things like that. I'm going to take care of that after we get the neighborhood built in. But yeah, I didn't want to waste your time with watching me put all that stuff in and taking care of the city resources. Thought I could just give a brief moment of saying what I've done instead. But yeah, hopefully with the snap of my fingers. Oh no, that's right. I want to build the nature reserve in here. So actually, you'll get to watch me do that. So I'm going to build this little nature reserve of a park in here. I will be right back. Alright, so I've got the basics of this park laid out in here. And I think it's going to be alright. I got a bunch of campfires, and when it levels up, eventually I'll be able to add in some campsites that I don't think look kind of silly, because if we go in here, we can put down tents, but I'm not sure that's exactly what I want to do. So let's go ahead and get some homes in here. I will snap my fingers, we'll be right back, and hopefully we were able to meet all of our city's demands so it doesn't slow down and we can just zoom right through it.
Geologists predict that a sinkhole could strike at any minute. Residents should take precautionary measures. A sinkhole has occurred somewhere in the city. Stay out of harm's way and contact authorities with any information.
Oh no. Oh, what a tragedy. Such a shame. Alright, so I was really hoping to hit the next milestone before going into industry, but it looks like we just do not have enough jobs for anybody to move in. But yeah, if we're going to be working on our industry, I actually think I want to be working on the forestry industry over here. I think we're producing enough raw resource that we're able to go ahead and accommodate some of our processing buildings. Now, while I was filling in our residential, our farm actually leveled up until level 4, I believe this is. But because it reached level 4, we got a couple things we can add. We got a farm maintenance building, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put that down right here. It increases the storage capacity of industry buildings in the area by 5%, which is pretty neat. We got some other things. I think there was a unique building, and I think we also got a slaughterhouse, but I think we're good with what we're at, or what we have right now. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave the farms alone and expand on the forestry. So I'm thinking about putting a couple of the forestry production buildings over here, and I'd also like to implement the forestry's unique building. So I will be right back and get all of that in place. Alright, so I have expanded upon our forestry industry. I've also expanded a little bit upon our farming industry as well, and I've implemented the furniture factory, as well as putting 2 warehouses in front of it for its resources. I've set them to fill, so that way the only trucks they send out are to the furniture factory itself. Now over here, I've added a lot of processing buildings. Now I'm hoping this will help out with our budget, because the processed goods sell for a lot more than the raw goods. So if we click on our forestry industry here, we can see that we're still exporting quite a bit of tonnage of raw lumber. Now, same thing as the farming industry. This just caught my eye that it says we're importing. If we look at our outside connections, nothing is importing forestry products. That I really do believe that there's a bug in the game that considers warehouses outside of the industry area as importing. But yeah, you can see like for 8 tons we get 1,200 whatever this currency is, dollary dues. And for for exporting raw forestry products, we only get like $255 for 13 tons. And it's a similar situation over here for farming, except now you can see we have 56 tons of goods that we're exporting, of raw goods. So I think next time I should probably focus on adding to the farming industry. And as you can see, I added 2 of these milking parlors and another flour mill. So maybe next time I'll add in more processing, but I think with that, we're probably good to continue zoning residential, but I would like to look at our commercial, and instead of actually doing anything serious right now with commercial, I'm just going to do that, zone in everything for it, and then I'll just get back to residential. So I will be right back. All right, there we go. Busy town. Population of 5,500. So what did we get and what do we get to play with? So we got city planning policies. We got more unique buildings, trolley bus, sightseeing bus, oil industry, tourism, free public transport, which is perfect. That'll get more cars off the road. We've got heavy traffic ban, which is also perfect, which means we can make some connections to our industry area into our residential and change some roads up and not have to worry about trucks driving past your home. We've also got filter industrial waste, which means that we would be able to do general zoned industry without having to worry about that obnoxious, gross looking pollution. We've got a lot of new roads and we've got some new buildings. This is perfect. So if we look at this first one, it's hospital. Now that's really cool because that means we can expand upon our little medical campus. We can add in, we can exchange our medical clinic for a hospital, and I'm actually pretty excited about that. A bunch of park stuff, a road maintenance depot, we're gonna need to implement that. Fire helicopter depot, this is perfect. So I've been waiting for this because our city just keeps catching on fire and the fire trucks don't seem to put out the trees that are on fire. So this fire helicopter depot will help us out a ton with putting out those nasty vegetation fires. We have a pumping service, which we might need to consider. Our city has flooded more than a couple times. We got a geothermal power plant. That's so cool. Okay, so now we can get rid of our coal power plants and replace them with those. That is awesome. We've got a medium warehouse. So yeah, what do we want to think about first? I think the most important is actually going to be the fire helicopter depot. I think that one is probably what our city really needs the most right now. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and think about where I want this fire helicopter depot, and I actually think it would be kind of cool. Ooh, electricity. Are we behind on electricity already? We are. All right, well, never mind. We're not going to worry about the fire depot. We're instead going to replace these coal power plants with geothermal. All right, so I've replaced our coal power plants with 2 separate geothermal plants. This one over here, it kind of looks funny where it's fenced and it's concrete run up the side of this cliff to the railroad, but I think once we unlock railroads, we can convert this to a bridge and that'll fix itself. So over time, we should see most of this brown disappear, but of course we're not going to because of course we got the recycling centers and the eco-inland water treatment plants, but we should see it significantly reduced. I've also added in our road maintenance depot over here. Now what this will do is it'll improve our road conditions so that way vehicles can actually travel faster on the roads, which is really neat. And something I am looking forward to that I think will just help out with our traffic just a little bit. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's right. We can implement the city policy now. Free public transportation. Now, where is it? Is it in services? Yes, there we go. Everything has free public transportation now, citywide. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, that's right, Fire Helicopter Depot. I'm gonna go ahead and get that area built out real quick, and I will see you on the other side. Alright, so I've got the helicopter depot placed down, and as you can tell from the building next to it, I've also added the disaster response unit. Now it's not quite centered up with this intersection over here, and that kind of bothers me, but I've already put down our toll booth and our toll road, so I really don't want to go back and move them. But yeah, as I was putting down this helicopter depot, I thought to myself it would be a really cool idea to put the disaster response right next to it, kind of maybe putting them together into the same place, or saying they're the same place or something. And it also gives us a new city service where, say for instance, one of our homes burns down to the ground, they'll send out one of these disaster response helicopters in order to search for survivors. So we have less casualties for whatever mishaps or accidents or something, or things of nature. But I think that was the biggest thing our city needed, and now let's go ahead and take a look to see what else we'd like to implement from this. The heavy traffic bans. So I'm actually going to come over here, we're going to look at our zones, and we're going to want to clean these up, because I'm going to do something real quick. I'll show you what happens. So if we go to our policies in this particular zone, and then we go to city planning and go heavy traffic ban, and then we say, for instance, we look at our bus routes. Wait, did we already clean up the zone here? Oh, we don't have any other connections. So 1 second. We can make our outside connections now. So I'm going to do that here. And upgrade this road over here to a 4-lane one. Alright, well apparently it does not affect our bus routes whatsoever, which is kind of strange. The last couple times I messed around with heavy traffic bans and bus routes, it would cause it would cause the buses to take these weird alternate routes, but it doesn't appear to be having an effect. And as you can see, that's not the only place we need the heavy traffic ban. If we're looking at this guy right here, he's driving right through the neighborhood for no good reason. So we're gonna go here, Crescent Park, policies, heavy traffic ban as well. All right, yeah. I think that's doing good. So let's go ahead and look at our other unlocks. We haven't done filter industrial waste, so I'm actually going to make a new area over here, a new district. So we come into here, we click our policies, and we want to go to filter industrial waste. So now we can zone in generic industry over here, and it'll produce our commercial goods. So that way we can finally stop importing all the commercial goods we've been using. Alright, what else have we unlocked? Ooh, that's right, our medical campus. So let's get down in here into this. We're gonna keep the game running. We're gonna delete this medical clinic. We're also gonna delete this road because I want to shrink that area down just a little bit. I don't need the road going out so far. Now let's take a look at all the hospitals we've been given. Well, that one doesn't fit there, but it fits here. Fits behind the pediatrics just fine. But do we really want the hospital to be looking out over the farm? I don't think so. So let's go ahead and keep looking at our other hospitals. We have this kind right here. This one just does not fit whatsoever. This one has more of like a utilitarian look to it. It looks like it has a medical helicopter spot on top. I wonder if that's actually usable. Oh, so does this one. Now let's check out our content creator. We have a general hospital. Ooh, that fits. We're just going to pretend that was calculated. So I don't want this to be facing out at the highway in the river. So let's build a road behind it over here. Perfect. Wow. So I want to upgrade these ones to ones without parking because, as you can see, this hospital itself has a mass amount of parking in front of it. We've got parking for the park over here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and just quickly add some parking for the pediatrics over here. Just like that, right on the side of it. So we've upgraded our medical campus. Let's see what else we've unlocked. Let's try out the weather radar. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it down over here. Well, how much is it? How much does it cost us per week in upkeep? 720 a week. You know what? I think that's fine. And we can go ahead and let's go ahead and extend this road out, I think. And so looking at our budget, I think we actually have enough in our budget to put down a gymnasium, and I'm really tempted to just throw it down right here just like this, but I feel like that's just a bit too close to the homes, so I think we're gonna actually pretend to upgrade the basketball court and the parking over here. So there we go. We'll go ahead and scoot this over just a little bit. I think right about there looks fine. I think that's just a little bit too far over. Actually, you know what? Right there's fine. Let's just do that. Yeah, just like that. So now our little school has its own gym. Let's go back and look at what else we've unlocked. See what else we can add. So this bus station, I'd like to actually put it right in here, but I don't know if I want to do that this time. I don't know how useful that'll be just yet, or if it'll even be useful at all for that matter. So I think that's about everything I wanted to implement in this part. I reached my goal, which was the next milestone, and I implemented some of what it has to offer, and I'm excited about that. I got to implement one more DLC, the European Suburbia. I got to implement, oh my goodness, we have a lot of flooding over here. Nobody seems to be bothered by it. They're all just continuing to drive right through it. We got our disaster response unit, our fire helicopters. We've swapped to green energy. We've swapped to green water or waste processing. We've added a lot to our budget by adding in a whole bunch more raw resource processors from the Industries DLC. So yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I can't wait to start detailing this and making it look pretty. And I think that's what I'm going to do next time. So yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I will go ahead and move into the time lapse now, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.